What's up, squash players? I've got a quick rundown of 3 Wilson squash rackets. Big thanks to Squash Gear. You may have seen that we recently unboxed a very large care package, and 3 of the rackets that were in there are the Wilson frames that you see here. These are all part of the kind of nRage. It's like a lowercase n. This one's called the nRage. It is $90. Yeah, $90. This one is called the Tour N, and it's $100. And this one is called the Classic Tour. I guess it was, you know, whatever. It used to be the Tour N, and now it's called the Classic Tour. They all have the same rough head shape, and so it's a traditional head shape with a slightly fan stringing pattern. They're all the same in that respect. I played with some demos. These have been restrung and re-gripped. I don't know what string this. Oh, maybe I could work it out. It looks like Technifiber string, Technifiber 305 plus. So these have had a string upgrade from the Wilson factory strings, which I don't know the name of. Wilson Helix 17. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Also, I think I said they've been re-gripped. Here's a, well, I'm not going to take this off, but it would come with a Wilson grip, whereas these demos had an eye grip. Anyway, let's talk about the rackets. So basically, my favorite out of all of these was actually the one that's $10 cheaper. This is the nRage. Pretty much the reason I like this, I think, is because it's just a little head lighter than the other ones. This one was 35 gram balance point, and actually I measured the stock one, and it was even 34.5. So that's quite head light in comparison to most rackets. It was 168 grams on my scale, all in. It's a 150 gram racket. So that's a heavy number, but it just feels lighter because of the light balance point. I would say that next up we have, these two were kind of similar in my view. The Classic Tour was the head heaviest of all, 37 centimeters, 152 grams all in. This one's 36.5 centimeter balance point, 150 grams. So these were lighter, but they were head heavier, and I just didn't like that quite as much. These have an interesting grommet pattern. You can see that they have, there's like a wide channel that they go into before entering the grommet, and it makes a funny sound, like a whistling sound as you swing the shot, which is kind of fun. Actually, it feels like your racket got a power up, but it takes a sec to get used to that. These two I felt were probably a little more powerful because of that head heavy feel, and they also had decent touch up front. My control was a little lacking on these, and when I say control, I mostly mean, especially if there's a fast point around the middle of the court and you're trying to catch a ball quickly, they weren't as fast, basically, in terms of maneuverability. This one, although it was heavier overall, I felt was the most maneuverable and the most control oriented. It wasn't quite as powerful as the other two, but it made up for that with its relative precision. I actually think this would be a good, I mean, all 3 of these are good options for, but especially this one for like a beginner intermediate player, because for $90 you're getting a Wilson frame, high quality brand, and a good all-around racket with a sort of, you know, fairly standard frame shape. I think this is a good option for a lot of people who are intermediate, or like I said, beginners that are looking for kind of a frame to go with. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this review of all the Wilson N type rackets, and we will be back with more from the Squash Gear unboxing soon. So subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.